What up, guys? Hyperbits here, and welcome to this start to finish course where I'll be putting together an official remix for Laidback Luke in just under 5 hours. So in this intro video, I just want to talk about 3 quick things. Like first, I just want to tell a little story about my first official remix opportunity that I ever got. And then I want to talk about the lifeline of a creative project. And then finally, I want to talk about kind of just how you can get the most out of this course. So first off, I remember my absolute first official remix opportunity that I ever had, right? It was for Island Def Jam, which is a subsidiary of Universal Music Group. And at that point, like I had been producing for over 3 years, right? So to say that I was like amped up it was just a complete, utter understatement. I literally was given an opportunity that I had been working towards, right, for a bunch of years already. But I guess the only catch was that I only had 24 hours to do the remix, like literally one full day, 24 hours. Like obviously that was a bit terrifying, but again, it was an amazing opportunity. So I was like, whatever, I'm just going to pull an all-nighter and I'll just try to make the best remix that I've ever made, right? And so I started making like all these complex ideas and they were all absolute garbage, right? Like, and I was just like, holy shit, like I might not even submit anything, right? Like I'm kind of like starting to get a little bit desperate. And so I started Googling stuff like how to finish a music project on a short deadline, just something completely ridiculous like that. And I was starting to enter like panic mode. And, I don't remember the source, but someone on some forum said, man, like every time I'm struggling with a project, like I just go back to the basics, like a simple chord progression, a simple lead. And I'm just always amazed at how good that sounds and how much people generally like that. And so I tried that, right? I went back and just wrote a basic chord progression. And within a few hours, I had most of the remix done because I stopped trying to be overly complex. And this is like a really huge concept, right? There's no reason to get absolutely crazy trying to create a complex idea. I think that you can just start by making something pretty simple, and there'll always be opportunities later in the project to kind of build off of that, right? To make the ideas more complex and make them more special and more original later on. And so before I talk about how that relates to you getting the most out of the start to finish course, I just want to take a nice, hard, long look at the lifeline of a project. And this is what most creative work, I would say, actually looks like for a creative person. Like we all start with some sort of initial spark, right? Some sort of initial idea that just gets us going and that gets us super excited. And we think like, man, this is going to be really, really, really dope, right? And super easy to pull off. And then we start developing the idea a little, right? Maybe structuring the song a bit. And we're just like, this is going to be just a little bit harder than I thought, right? And then you're in the thick of it, right? Trying to make some important composition decisions, really progressing the track, maybe trying some like intricate new tricks or replicating something you heard in like a Madeon track or something. And you start gearing up and you're like, wow, like this is actually really going to take some serious work. And then you start doubting yourself, right? Because I don't know, this is something you were trying, right? Maybe one of those Madeon tricks or something like just wasn't working out in your project. And you're starting to think, well, you know what? Like this kind of sucks. Like I'm not even like into this project anymore. And if anything, it's kind of boring. And then things get really, really, really ugly, right? And we have that dark night of the soul where you're not just doubting whether the song is any good, you're way past that, right? You've hated the song for a while now and you're on to doubting whether you should even be working on music in general. Like, who am I to even try to be an artist? Like, I should probably just go back to my like office job or to school or something, right? And so you quit for the night, you question your entire existence, and maybe take out your angst by just getting drunk or spending money or going to the gym or whatever, right? Whatever your vice is, you're going to tap into that hard at that point. But the beauty in all of this, right, is that you might wake up the next day and the sun is out, right? And you're just in a slightly better mood and you come back to this project and you decide, I'm sick of just not finishing my music. I'm going to finish this. And maybe I'll learn something, even though I kind of hate this project. And as you keep working on it, maybe that same day, maybe a few hours later, you keep listening to your idea again. And you're like, you know what? This isn't that great, actually, but it's also not that bad either. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish it. And then you're done, right? And if there's anything to take away from all of this, right? It's just that you have to get from this initial starting point to the finished product faster. And that's how you'll get the most out of this course. Basically, using the course as a guide to get your music from the initial starting point to a finished mastered track as fast as possible, without letting your like inner insecurities and doubts and fears populate your mind too much. They are unavoidable, right? They're going to be there no matter what. You'll probably hate your music at some point if you follow along with this course, right? But that doesn't matter. Just get through the structure as fast as possible. Try mixing your track, right, in a few hours. Try mastering it yourself. And I promise you that if you just repeat the process from these videos over and over again with your music, right, your output will increase, the quality of your work will increase, and your knowledge pertaining to the work that you're making, right, will also 100% increase. So hopefully that sparks some direction as to how to take this course, right? But if I could summarize that, I would just say, follow along by creating your own song. Start with something really simple. Don't be overly complex, right? Let your ideas progress into something more complex that's more detailed and more intricate. And then get from that initial spark to a finished track as fast as possible. And of course, right, if you want to just look at this course like strictly as a learning tool without deliberate practice on your end, you could just watch the videos, right, and take notes at the end of each part. It's another great way to take the course, but maybe just not the absolute best way. I mean, either way though, right, I think you'll get something pretty damn valuable out of all of this. So just don't forget, keep things simple. Best of luck with the course and happy producing.